My name is Cristina. I'm the co-founder of Brazilero Animation Studio, and today I'm going to talk about international expansion, our own experience on expansion to the US market. I'm going to talk about our fails, pitfalls, and key learnings. So let's go. A little bit about our studio. We started back in 2014 as a small company in Moldova, and pretty fast we understood that we hit the ceiling and uh, we need we need to expand. So back in 2018, we have opened our first office in US in New York City, and since then we start working with big international companies and brands such as IBM, San Pellegrino, Lafarge, uh, Procter and Gamble, and many others. A little bit about this topic. So this topic will be interesting for you in case you're a creative studio as we are, in case you are a designer, freelancer, video producer, or someone from IT sector. I'm not sure this experience is relevant for those companies that have a tangible product. Anyways, hopefully our experience will help you develop faster and avoid those fails that we did. A little bit about myself. I'm the co-founder of Brazilero Animation Studio. In 2018, I was selected one of the top 10 producers to work with Regina King for the female creativity campaign held by Procter and Gamble for the Gillette Venus brand. I have over 10 years of experience in marketing. I have worked with companies such as BMW, Mitsubishi, and many others. I hold master degree in advertising and PR. So enough about myself. Let's proceed further. What are the key reasons why you should consider US market? First of all, if you're a company like we are, we hit the ceiling pretty fast. In several years, we start working with top brands from our local country, and we understood that we need more development, and there's no room for that. The market in Moldova is really small, and we understood that we have to make a decision of expansion. We thought a lot, where should we expand? There are many options, but we decided that US is the country that we are having that has the maximum potential. We understood that our products could be sold there at a higher cost. In today's COVID situation, I would say like US is the country that is going to recover pretty fast from the economic crisis due to the package of the measures and that the government has implemented. Um, some key points about US economy. In 2019, it hit the growth of 2.3%. The GDP per capita is $65,000, while the total GDP is $21 trillion. Prior to consider the expansion, you have to consider this. You have to be sure you have some key things that are running correctly in your studio. You have to be sure that you have the production capacity, or at least in case you will sign a bigger contract, you have the access to the freelance pool, to the pool of freelancers to extend your production capacity. Make sure your studio or your company can run autonomously without you, because during this period of expansion, you will be 100% involved in the sales and establishing new relationship. And as I did, and I did not have enough time to run the production itself. So it's really important to have the producers, the project managers in place that will help you with that will help your business run smoothly. You have to make sure that prior to expansion you have a strong portfolio, which means like having several big projects for US companies that you can show off. It's really important that your work quality is outstanding because entering the market with lower quality, you would compete with the low quality companies that are coming from India or freelancers, and their prices are really low, and you cannot beat them on the price market. So basically, there's no sense for expansion in this case of scenario. So make sure your work is outstanding. Um, some of the pitfalls that we that would like to uncover. In our case, we entered the market with really high expectations, and we understood that it takes much more time than we thought for some things to happen. Be aware you have enough patience because US economy is a mature economy, which means the companies are good as they are. The business is running perfectly. They don't make any decisions in a hurry, especially for the big project. So it might takes time. It takes time from initial contact to the signed contract. Sometimes it could take up to 6 months. Also be aware that even though you have signed the contract, some projects could also last months. Why this happens because when you're working with middle-sized companies as we do, there's a big board of decision makers, and they all have to agree on the feedback. So in terms of feedback, it takes longer to receive the feedbacks from those type of companies, and also the feedback may be more complex than you expect. Uh, Also, there's another thing, which is building trust. And due to the fact that you will be a foreigner and not a local, it will take more time to build that trust, to build a relationship with your client. It's possible, but you have to prove why you are so good enough and why they should work with you rather than with the local company. I'm going to share here some fails that we faced, and I hope these advices will help you avoid them. First of all, there's a big issue with the cultural differences, and the number one thing is the expectations after the meeting. So, taking into account our experience and my experience in the meeting, I was used to understand what to expect after each meeting. Having meetings held in Europe, in Moldova, the people there are easy to read from my perspective. Here in US, everyone is really nice with you. They're really smiley and friendly. And at the end, you might think that this meeting went really well. There's 100% rate of success, but they will tell you, let's stay in touch or let's keep in loop, which means basically no. Why that happens? It happens because Americans are really nice people, and they could never say no in your face. So sometimes you might think like this meeting went really well, but at the end you will not have any contract signed. Please be aware of that thing, and try not to create a higher expectations, but rather increase the number of meetings that you have in order to have a bigger rate of success. Budget. So even though if you have managed to build trust with the company that you're working with, they liked your portfolio, the meeting went really well, they ask you for the budget. Sometimes it could happen that it happens to us. It happened first times with us that after we send them the budget, the company just disappeared. And the main reason for that was that the budget was too low. Here, people are willing to pay money for a high quality. So if they expect high quality, they expect a higher rate. If you're gonna send them a budget lower than they expect or that they're willing to pay, most probably they will think that something is wrong with your company, or maybe your portfolio is not real, or maybe something else. So they rather not accept they will, if there's a risk, they will not accept working with you. So be aware of that factor, and my advice is always ask for their budget. You will be surprised, like 70% of the clients would share with you their budget, and in most of the cases is much higher. Their budget is much higher than the one you were planning to offer them. So Always ask for the budget and stay away from low budgets, and try to sell your work on a price that is on the market. This is really important. Market differences in terms of finding new clients. Here's the tricky thing. We thought that the same strategy that worked for us in Moldova would work here, but it didn't happen that way. For example, back in my country, I could easily take a phone and call a company that I target and connect to a marketing manager and establish a meeting. Here, cold calling has zero result. Nobody will connect you with the marketing manager. The marketing teams are so big, you don't even know with whom to talk about this matter. And the number of cold calls is really high here. So most probably you will have zero rate of success. So that strategy does not work for the development and for finding new clients. We have used and we still use Facebook for finding new clients and advertising our products or services in Eastern Europe. It still works there, but it doesn't work in US. One of the reasons is that in Facebook you have to compete with big players, and the click rate cost is really high. Also, Facebook is not that popular. It's not a popular network up here, especially for B2B. Regarding the Google, we have spent a lot of money on Google advertising. We have tried the different strategy. We work with different professionals on that matter. It also did not work for us. The main reason is that you have to compete with big players here, and the click rate is really high. Sometimes pay-per-click could be up to $50. So, and especially if you're looking for B2B clients, I think as a good advice is to consider LinkedIn as a network. Research that network. It has worked for us. There are a lot of options up there. So yeah, so be aware of that. Prepare yourself to use different types of methods that you use in your country. Also, cold emails are really a good instrument up here, but not a cold email where you sell your things. A cold email that establishes a relationship and starts a dialogue. We never sell our services through cold emails. This is not appropriate for a studio that offers high-end products. If you're going to be sending emails with sales proposition to different agencies or whatever brands, most probably you will be associated with a studio that has low budgets, like from India or Pakistan, which is, I don't think that you're looking for this association. So try to establish a relationship and a dialogue while contacting your clients through cold emails. Client types. Be aware of the clients that are asking for lower budgets or big discounts. These are actually the bad clients that you don't want to work with them. Most probably they will not appreciate your expertise, and most probably you would not use the video or the product in your portfolio because you will not be satisfied with their quality. These types of clients has a ton of feedback, and at the end they pay you nothing, and you cannot even use that final product in your portfolio. Also, please include one extra round of revisions when working with the middle-sized companies, and 2 extra rounds of revisions when working with agencies. Agency will usually, when working with agency, you will usually have 2 rounds of revisions from each side. For example, an agency can have their own feedback, and the client could have a totally different feedback. So double that number and include it in the budget prior to proceed. Key takeaways. So let's summarize everything. Prior to start the expansion to the other market, you would have to have a financial reserve for at least 6 months. because it takes around 6 months to see the first results. Uh, my advice is establish maximum presence in the country. What I mean by that, try to open a company here, try to open a LLC or incorporation, whatever. Try to open a bank account. If it's not possible, try to have a virtual address here, or if it's not possible to have a physical address. Why is that important is because some clients are paying you through checks and they have to send that check to a certain address. Also, the check has to be deposited to your bank account. So think about those things prior to start. And what I have noticed that is when you have a company, a local company open here, it's much easier to work with clients because they trust you. It's better for the trust and relationship generally. And we have started as a company coming from Moldova, and the rate of success was much lower until we opened our own company up here, and we start reaching our clients from the company from New York. So my advice is, if it's possible, try this. Also, take some time. In my case, I travel back and forth. I try to be present in the meetings, the most important big meetings. So if you have the possibility, travel for the meetings and be present physically for some important clients. Um, Regarding the portfolio, if you're trying to approach US clients, you would definitely have to show them a couple of examples of work made for US companies. This is really important. In case you don't have any US companies in your portfolio, try working with agencies. Try working without NDA, so you'll have the possibility to show out those works in your portfolio. Also, it's really important if you're targeting a niche company, like for example a medical startup, to show your experience in that field, in medical and healthcare field. So if you're targeting a medical startup, for example, you would have to show them a couple of works from medical field. This means that you're an experienced company and you have experience in their field, and they will trust you more, and the rate of success is going to be much higher. If you're gonna do an opposite thing, like for example, you are going to show them just general works, they will not understand that you have the possibilities and capabilities to work in their field, and most probably they will avoid such companies. I'm here to discuss with you any further questions that you might have. Here's my email. You can find me on Instagram. I'm ready to answer any questions regarding the expansions, give you some advices regarding the questions that you might have, and feel free to reach me anytime. Thanks for watching this, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.